Jackson on the...
KATU's Weather on the Hour is brought to you by Teflik Laser Surgery Centers. Your vision for the future.
On World News tonight, this Tuesday, the Egypt Air investigation. Do they have a clue already? Another gunman goes after his fellow workers. 7 people are dead in Hawaii. Getting behind at school and never catching up. We'll take a closer look at a glaring problem in American education. And trying to make a difference in Oakland, California. From moonbeam to mayor.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We begin with Egypt Air Flight 990. Tonight, investigators are looking closely at what may have been a serious, even catastrophic problem with one of its engines, specifically with what's called a thrust reverser, an internal part of an engine which causes a jet's power or thrust to suddenly reverse. It's what you feel and hear when a pilot slows the plane down right after landing on the ground. It is a fairly dramatic moment. And if the thrust reverser were to suddenly, inadvertently, mistakenly be deployed or activated in mid-flight, a big plane could go suddenly out of control. Here's ABC's Lisa Stark.
ABC News has learned that the Egyptian airplane had some sort of a problem with one of its thrust reversers on a previous trip. Even though thrust reversers are usually used to slow the plane on landing, they are not required equipment. And so the airline, as is allowed, deactivated the broken thrust reverser, which is common practice in the industry. But there have been cases of deactivated thrust reversers opening inadvertently when planes land. And FAA documents show the agency is concerned about that and worried that this could, quote, happen in flight, leading to reduced controllability of the airplane. The FAA wants airlines to strengthen the deactivation pin that is supposed to hold the thrust reverser in place. This will be one focus of the investigation. On the water, Coast Guard vessels continued to pick up small pieces of debris and human remains and bring what they had found back to shore. But recovery efforts will be hampered tonight and over the next few days by bad weather moving in.
On-scene weather conditions are generally worsening. Seas are approximately 8 to 10 feet and building.
Before the weather deteriorated, 2 ships, the Whiting and Mohawk, began using side-scan sonar to map the area where the wreckage is. In the center of the debris is where the ships picked up the distinctive signals from the 2 black boxes. And the Navy ship, the USS Grapple, is in Newport taking on supplies. It is the divers on this ship who will head down 250 feet below the surface to try to recover the plane's black boxes. They were practicing today, but the Grapple will not be over the crash site until late Thursday at the earliest. Recovery of those black boxes is key to solving this crash and would tell investigators, for example, if a thrust reverser did deploy in flight. But sources are stressing to ABC News that the radar track is not consistent with the deployment of one thrust reverser. So at this time, Peter, this accident very much remains a mystery.
Lisa Stark, there was another embarrassment for the Boeing company today. Boeing says that hundreds of its planes now in service are operating with a part that is potentially dangerous. All the bad news is affecting Boeing's stock. Shares of the world's largest aircraft maker were down nearly 3% today. Here's ABC's Barry Serafin.
Boeing has been forced to delay the delivery of 34 planes, and hundreds of others already in commercial service may have to be modified. The problem is a shield above the cockpit which prevents condensation from reaching wiring and instruments. The shields were made improperly and could burn too easily. The company and government officials say the problem has no apparent connection with the Egypt Air crash, but it is symptomatic of a long list of problems for Boeing.
They're basically a healthy company that has caught the flu every single week.
In recent days, federal safety officials have criticized Boeing for taking years to release a study of overheating problems in 747 fuel tanks, the kind of problems believed to have caused the crash of TWA Flight 800 3 years ago. In the meantime, Boeing is being outpaced for commercial plane orders by the European company Airbus. And Boeing has inherited legal trouble through its merger with McDonnell Douglas, which was indicted last month for selling machine tools to China that were diverted to a military plane.
Boeing is a company that easily could be in a lot more trouble than it is now if they don't solve some of these problems quickly.
Our plan, of course, is to deal with every issue aggressively and do what's right and take care of the issues as they arise.
Boeing says despite those issues, it expects to roll out a record 620 planes this year. Barry Sarapin, ABC News, Washington.
On the money tonight, an interesting explanation from the powerful chairman of the Federal Reserve about the country's great economic expansion. Alan Greenspan said that rising home prices have done more to fuel the country's economic expansion than gains in the stock market. Mr. Greenspan says there's evidence that people who sell their homes are more willing to spend their profits because they think home prices are not likely to decline, unlike stock prices, which are more volatile. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which now includes Microsoft and Intel, was down more than 66 points to close at 10,581. On the NASDAQ, stocks were up just under 14 points. When we come back, a massacre in Honolulu. 7 people murdered by a fellow worker. And a very sensitive time in a child's education. We'll take a closer look.
To find the perfect gift for the coffee lover in your life, Gifts.com tested all kinds of gift ideas.
Good gift. Great gift. Great gift. You buy it?
I'd buy it.
I'd give it.
You'd give it?
I'd give it.
Not very good.
This would make a nice gift.
It'd make a wonderful gift.
Help!
Big gold body, fine full finish. It's a marvelous Boca moment.
Coffee break!
So when you're looking for just the right gift, come to Gifts.com. Tell us about the people you're shopping for, and we'll tell you about some great gifts. Gifts.com. Just the perfect gifts.
My feet are killing me.
You need new Podiasin Soak and Massage Gel. Only Podiasin dissolves in water for instant pain relief, then rubs into open pores for deep, lasting relief.
The pain is gone.
New Podiasin Soak and Massage Gel.
Do you need this much space to feel comfortable? Do you need to feel the breeze on your face? Is taking a nap really the best use of your time? Introducing the all-new redesigned Avalon, the most spacious, most luxurious sedan we've ever created. Do you need this much space to feel comfortable?
In Honolulu today, a longtime employee of Xerox walked into his office, shot and killed 7 co-workers, and fled in the company van. 2 hours later, a standoff with the police began near the Hawaii Nature Center. Here's ABC's Brian Rooney.
About 3 o'clock this afternoon, the suspect finally surrendered near the entrance to the Nature Center. It had been a calm standoff for half the day. While miles away, officers tried to sort out what had happened at the Xerox building.
Our boss started calling our names, said, hey, follow us. And we asked him what happened, so somebody got shot.
Witnesses said a fellow employee named Brian Oyasugi came to work shortly after 8 and went into a conference room. Authorities said 5 men were shot to death in that room and 2 others in a room down the hall. One woman said Oyasugi left in a Xerox company van.
As I came around this area, Brian drove past me, very calm, collected.
In a city in which all guns and ammunition must be registered, police announced that Oyasugi owned at least 17 weapons. An incident like this does not fit Honolulu's image of itself.
We live in the safest city in the United States, and something like this is certainly unexpected. It's a shock for all of us.
The gunman appeared to have targeted people in his work group. Co-workers said the group may have been meeting to decide whether Oyasugi should be fired. But as the police tried to convince him to give up, they had no confirmed explanation for the shooting. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Los Angeles.
In many parts of the country today, voters are being asked to express themselves. Governor's races, mayor's races, ATM fees in San Francisco, late-term abortions in Maine, new taxes for sports stadiums in several cities. We're a year from the presidential election, and even though it is very early, an ABC News poll shows the Republican and Democratic frontrunners have opened up giant leads among potential voters. Texas Governor George W. Bush leads his closest challenger, Senator John McCain, 75% to 10. Vice President Gore has the edge over former Senator Bill Bradley, 67% to 29. When Mr. Bush and Mr. Gore are paired off, Mr. Bush is ahead, 55% to 39%. Remember, there's a year left in the campaign. Still, we asked people who might be more effective on the issues such as taxes, the economy, education, and the environment. Take a look at this, and you can see the results. It's only on the environment that people thought Mr. Gore would do a better job. And given the impeachment proceedings this year against President Clinton, we asked what people thought was more important, a position on the issues or personal qualities. People were, as you can see, divided. Only 16% of those we asked say they are following the campaign very closely. For those of you who follow polls very closely, check with abcnews.com. When World News Tonight returns, will they ever get a peace agreement in the Middle East? President Clinton tries again.
Keys are in it.
The Accord V6 Coupe from Honda. It's one powerful car.
Max is a Mighty Dog. That's why he gets new Mighty Dog carved beef and gravy. Tender slices and savory gravy to give Max all the energy he needs. New Mighty Dog carved beef and carved beef with pasta. Mighty Dog from Friskies.
One question aroused fierce passions for centuries. What's for dinner? Until the day a great mediator appeared. The new Maytag Gemini. An amazing 2-in-1 range that allowed them to cook 2 different foods at 2 different temperatures for one complete meal.
Freedom. Yeah, let me get this straight.
Yes.
Are you actually saying I don't have to pay you a separate commission every time I trade a stock?
Exactly.
I'd pay an annual fee instead.
Right.
Is anyone getting
If
this?
we don't pay you a commission every time we trade, what's your motivation?
It's just like always in your best interest.
Could you just explain it again?
Maybe what it is the fee is based on the value of our portfolios. So when we succeed, they succeed.
Well, you'll have to be patient with us. This is all very new.
This is how the world feels when you have dry eyes. But now there's new Visine Tears with a unique tears formula not found in other leading brands to make dry, scratchy eyes feel moist and comfortable. Visine Tears, it gets the dry out.
In Norway today, mixed emotions for the men and women still trying to work out a long-term peace agreement between Israel and the Palestinians. That includes President Clinton, the Israeli Prime Minister, the Russian Prime Minister, the Palestinian President. Today, the backdrop was the murder of an Israeli prime minister killed by an Israeli for making peace. ABC's John Cochran is in Oslo.
It was an impressive, somber ceremony in honor of Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, assassinated 4 years ago because of his role as a peacemaker. One after another, they told of his courage, his widow, the new Israeli Prime Minister, the Palestinian leader, the President of the United States. And it was left to Bill Clinton to say what the others did not. There is a chance for peace, but only a chance.
So if Rabin were here with us today, he would say there is not a moment to spare. All this honoring me and these nice words, they're very nice, but please finish the job.
For 2 days, the summit has had the trappings of an event where big things should happen. But behind the pageantry and the heavy security and the lavish meals, this was a salvage operation, hastily organized to revive stalled negotiations. Stalled because the Israelis and the Palestinians have now come to the really hard part, a final agreement on borders, the status of Jerusalem, security for worried Israelis, nationhood for the Palestinians, and the fate of hundreds of thousands of Palestinian refugees. Tonight, President Clinton told both leaders he will host a summit, if needed, to help them meet the February deadline they have set for an outline for peace. President Clinton very much wants history to remember him, at least in part, as the president who brought a lasting peace to the Middle East. John Cochran, ABC News, Oslo.
Mr. Clinton had a separate meeting with Russia's latest Prime Minister, Vladimir Putin, and criticized him for the war that Moscow is waging against the Russian territory of Chechnya. Mr. Clinton told Mr. Putin that he should seek a political solution instead of killing so many Chechens. Mr. Clinton did not apparently say that Russian-American relations would suffer as a result. fact, the Russians already know that. They know the U.S. and other governments have been very quiet about the Russian campaign. ABC's Hillary Brown reports from Moscow.
Russia says that this is a war on terrorists. Yet they're hitting women and children every day. Russian bombs and missiles are turning villages into fields of ruins. The Russians have driven almost 200,000 civilians from what's left of their homes. And now Russian soldiers are refusing to let them cross to neighboring republics. Thousands of people are stuck at the border without shelter in a line that stretches for 8 miles. The soldiers say the terrorists must not be allowed to escape. We're not terrorists, this woman says. We just want to leave. Why is the world so silent now when it condemned Serbia's attacks on its minority in Kosovo and went to war to stop them?
It's a balance of power politics, and it's clean and simple in that regard that nobody wants to go to war with a nuclear power, and therefore we are unwilling to defend the Chechens.
As for opposition to the war in Russia itself, there isn't any. People here are convinced that Chechens were behind a recent bombing campaign that killed 300 people in Moscow. Media coverage of the war is sanitized. Most important, perhaps, is that the popularity of the Prime Minister has soared since the war began. There's no reason why he would want to stop it. Hillary Brown, ABC News, Moscow.
President Clinton said today that American hearts go out to those people in India whose lives have been devastated by the worst cyclone this century. Indian officials now believe that thousands of people have died and many thousands more made desperate by chaos, primarily in the state of Orissa on the Bay of Bengal. There is no protection against the floodwaters. Millions of people are without clean water and food. The threat of disease is rampant. There are food riots reported and looting as well. People are angry that the government has not done more to protect them or help when disaster struck. In a moment, failing to make the grade, a closer look at American middle schools.
World News Tonight with Peter Jennings and a closer look. Brought to you by Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because he has his mother's eyes. Because I still have to teach him to whistle. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm injured, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Did I mention he has his mother's eyes? Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
A lot of people have allergies. I have multi-symptom nasal allergies. It's the sneezing, itchy, runny nose, the nasal congestion. It's all of it. I told my doctor, I've had it. I want an allergy medicine made for my kind of allergies. He prescribed multi-symptom Flonase.
Flonase nasal spray once a day relieves all nasal allergy symptoms all day and night.
All it takes is Flonase.
The #1 prescribed nasal allergy spray. Even kids as young as 4 can use Flonase. For best results, use daily. If side effects occur, they are generally mild and may include headache, nosebleed, or sore throat. Call to learn more. Ask your doctor about multi-symptom Flonase.
When you get it all it takes is Flonase.
I hate this cold, dry weather. Makes my scalp itch worse.
That's scalp stress itch.
When I blow dry, my scalp itch gets intense.
That's scalp stress itch.
Days like this, what an itch.
That's scalp stress itch. And this is what stops it. Scalpicin. Clean, unscented, medicated. To stop scalp stress itch.
Fast.
Scalpicin stops scalp stress itch.
You have meditated for 3 months.
Yes, Master.
What have you learned?
Nobody in the world sells more real estate than Remax.
Remax helped us find this place, you know.
Cool.
Remax, the real estate leaders.
Open wide! It's Frisky's Dental Diet. A Frisky cat's too busy having fun to worry about dental hygiene. That's why there's Frisky's Dental Diet. It helps reduce plaque and tartar buildup by 25%. What a meal! Frisky's Dental Diet.
The weak link in American education. It was first the title of a report on the state of middle schools in America, grades 6 through 8. And we're taking a closer look because only 23% of 8th graders in the United States have tested proficient in math. 39% test below what is considered even the basic level. And because in international comparisons, 8th grade students in the U.S. score below the average. What difference does it make? Well, quite simply, if things go wrong for children at this mid-stage in their education, the chances of them recovering and getting back on track are slim to none. ABC's Rebecca Chase tonight on what is wrong and some ways to make it better.
Young adolescents, 11 to 14, when children are becoming adults. Kids hitting puberty can be rebellious, moody, hard to reach, hard to teach, and too often middle schools fail to reach them.
Too many of our 8th graders leave 8th grade and their options are already cut off. They're not ready to take algebra. They're not ready to take the kinds of sciences or the kinds of English they need.
As national tests show, at least 40% of high school students leave middle school without the skills to succeed.
We do not teach as rigorous and challenging a curriculum as the rest of the world. Our students often have repetitive, redundant kinds of curriculum.
Number 9. Part of the problem is middle school teachers. At least a third do not have majors in the subject they teach. Another problem? Tracking. Separating students based on ability. The result, slow or average students are held to a lower standard.
There are a different set of expectations. They're expected to do less. It doesn't work.
And on top of all that, there is less money.
We get less money for the kids in the middle school than they do at high school or in elementary.
Why is that?
I couldn't tell you that.
But good middle schools are finding ways to challenge adolescents and keep them interested.
This age group tends to be a little bit more restless. They need to have the hands-on activities. Oh, like that, okay.
In this 8th grade science class at Kissimmee, Florida Middle School, students learn about motion by building kites, the force of magnets by racing cars. Adolescents, who sometimes listen more to their peers, also do well learning from each other. And teachers here coordinate their lessons around a single subject. English students reading the novel Around the World in 80 Days will measure the circumference of the Earth and build hot air balloons in science. Math class will compute travel expenses.
The kids get to see whatever it is they're focusing on education-wise from many different angles.
This new approach is getting high marks from students.
Some schools is like so boring that you just don't want to go, but the teachers make it fun to learn. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's challenging, but it can be fun too.
It just helps us learn better, and which really is what we need for when we get to high school.
It's what they need and what most kids are not getting from middle schools that fail to make the grade. Rebecca Chase, ABC News, Kissimmee, Florida.
Tomorrow we'll take a closer look at a school that was not content with being average and how it turned itself around, and money was not the answer. When we come back this evening, the new man trying to create the new city, the latest chapter in a colorful career.
People breed dogs. Some people breed pretty dogs. Other people breed tough dogs. But every once in a while, one of those tough dogs hooks up with one of the pretty dogs. Introducing the new, redesigned 2000 Mitsubishi Montero Sport. Tougher, prettier.
This job's killing me. I've got to start thinking about the future. Thinking long term. There's the kids' college. They need good health care. And then there's my retirement. Yeah, I gotta start thinking about this stuff for more than 2 minutes at a time.
Your health, your finances, your future. Aetna, for what matters most.
Thanks for making a leave. For almost 5 years, I had a hard time walking. I went from doctor to doctor and even had surgery on both knees. Pain relievers like Tylenol quit after a few hours and the pain came back. Finally, a doctor suggested a leave. Within a week, I was dancing all night like I hadn't done in years.
Aleve can stop pain all day with just 2 pills. It would take 8 Tylenol to do that.
Now people say I'm a walking advertisement for Aleve.
All day strong, all day long.
Tonight.
I wish you could come with me and see him play.
Sometimes the game is more complicated
He's out of town with his ex, and you've got your knickers in a twist.
than it looks.
It's not like you'll be sharing a room, right?
ABC's Once and Again tonight, 10/9 Central.
Coming up next on Channel 2 News, it's a day victims of the Springfield shooting have been waiting for. The start of sentencing of Kip Kinkel will have courtroom reaction, and the search continues for an F-15's missing missile. I'm Steve Dunn. Local news is next.
Finally this evening, whatever happened to Jerry Brown, once the young, colorful governor of California, the 3-time Democratic candidate for president. Now, we do not mean to slight Jerry Brown by making a whatever happened to reference, but rather to focus on how he is doing as a mayor. ABC's Judy Muller tonight from Oakland, California.
He was once dubbed Governor Moonbeam. Today he comes across more like a laser beam, focused on one thing, turning Oakland around.
A city that is not a drive-through and not a drive-by, but a drive-to.
Since Jerry Brown became mayor in January, he's shaken up the dysfunctional school system, leading a campaign to oust an entrenched superintendent. He fired the police chief, replacing him with someone who supports Brown's aggressive crackdown on crime. Another move applauded by residents who remember the bad old days.
And while I'm taking a shower, I'm hearing Uzis go off all around me. Bang, 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 bang.
And now?
And now I don't hear it. There's no more shooting.
The man who once pondered cosmic issues at a Zen monastery and debated political issues on a national stage is now planting trees, patching potholes, and sweeping streets.
As we have a downtown with empty blocks, we want to fill it up with economic activity and what I call mixed-use vibrancy.
Brown wants to bring 10,000 new residents to downtown Oakland, as well as new business. Although the city was on the rebound before he took office, business is booming.
He's been a great cheerleader. He's helped bring business here and expose business to this area.
Change never comes without critics, of course, and Brown certainly has his share. Some community activists say he is sacrificing the city's poor, who can't afford the higher housing prices, in order to create a showcase for a possible presidential bid.
But what's going to happen to poor people like my people? Even the street people have a right to live.
This rhetoric about don't make Oakland better by calling it gentrification misses the point. Oakland has a tremendously diverse population, income-wise and racially and ethnically, and that diversity will be maintained.
His supporters say Brown has little patience for naysayers.
He said people not ready for change, then they're not ready for Jerry.
And ready or not, he's here.
I think I'm doing okay. How do you think I'm doing?
Judy Muller, ABC News, Oakland.
That is our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, women in prison. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. Good night.
From ABC News, tomorrow on Good Morning America, her husband's running for president. Ernestine Bradley speaks with Diane Sawyer about her marriage, her unique childhood, and her chances of becoming First Lady. Then on World News Tonight, success, they figured it out. The simple things one struggling high school did to turn itself around. Watch World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC's World News.
The ideas about buying, financing, and renting were simple and in some cases quite clever. But this free seminar wasn't so much interested in enlightening me as it was in selling me more classes, a 28-hour weekend crash course for more than $1,500.
Look at the entry to it. I mean, basically, you go to a free seminar to find out that in 3 days you can become an expert. The premise that he's still going with is that when you get out of this, you're going to be able to make a lot of money easily. And as always, I mean, you've got to be suspicious of that kind of stuff.
The seminar has success stories to share, how money was made in just a few days. But what it does not do is stress the bumps and snags along the way. Snags that real people come up against every day.
Is it possible to get rich quick in real estate?
Not in my opinion, not quick.
Former Oregon Realtors President John Scott says if you're going to try a strategy like the ones these programs sell, be prepared to give more time and effort than you expect. Then there is the market risk.
Because the market could turn, you could buy, you could end up buying in a good market like we have now, and then it turns on you before you're able to sell those properties, and perhaps the rents you need to get, people won't pay, and so it just can collapse on you just as quickly.
Like the ad says, he lived up to his oath, showing how to build wealth.